Wahalathanthri, and I'm here with my 21st question set from the DBMS question series. So in this video, I'm going to explain y'all how to answer these questions using queries such as insert queries, update queries, delete queries, search queries, and join queries to join tables. So in question set 16, we created a database called ExamMarksDB. Then we created tables for that database, and then we inserted data to those tables. So in this video, we are going to answer the questions regarding that database using queries. So we'll be using inner join subqueries likewise. So let's see what our first question is. So I'll be using my HiDSQL software to type these queries. So our first question is, what is the highest mark obtained in the first term mathematics subject? Okay, so now they are asking what's the highest mark obtained in the first term mathematics subject. So highest mark, first term mathematics. So we'll be needing an inner join because we need to join the table such as the subject table and the exam table. Why? Because we need to filter the exam term and the subject. So now let me show y'all how I'm going to type this. So I'm going to use a select query for this. So first I'll begin by typing select all from exam marks DB. First we should give the database name student exam mark record. Then we should give the table name. So exam marks DB is the database name and student exam mark record is the table name. So I will execute this and this will become the output for this query. So our question here is the highest mark obtained in first term for this math subject. So now let's begin to inner join the tables we want. So we'll begin by inner joining our exam term table first. So first I will give inner join exam term. So this exam term is there in our student exam mark record table. So we have foreign keyed it to our exam term ID. So this exam term ID is equal to the term ID in our exam table. Dot term ID. So next I will inner join our subject table. Okay, so this is also there in the student exam mark record table. Dot subject ID. So this subject ID is equal to the subject ID in our subject table. So therefore I'll give a subject ID. Okay, so now we are done inner joining the tables we want. So now let's filter this. So I'll filter this using a where clause. So I'll give a where condition where subject. So we'll first give the exam term. Exam term dot term name is first term. And next, and our subject dot subject name is mathematics. Okay, so now let's execute this. Okay, so now you all can see that all the details of all the students who have participated for first term mathematics has been loaded likewise. But the question here is, what is the highest mark obtained? So now we have to search the highest mark. So therefore, in this select query, I should remove this star. So this star stands for all. So when we give all the details will come. So therefore, I'll remove it and I'll just give student exam mark record dot marks. And now I'll execute it. So all the marks will come. So now we have to search the highest mark. So therefore, I'll put these inside brackets. And in front of the brackets, I'll give it as max. So in my previous video, we talked about the minimum mark. So if it's a minimum mark, we should give min. So if it's the maximum mark, then we should give max. So now I will execute this. Okay, so the maximum mark for first term mathematics is 90. So this is the answer for the first question in question set 21. Let's move on to our next question. What is the highest mark obtained in the second term science subject? So because it's second term, I can copy this same query. And I'll open a new query, insert it, and I'll just change the terms and the subject. So this term is second term and the subject is science. And now I'll execute it. Okay, so the highest mark in second term science is 95. So this is the answer for our second question. Next, let's move on. What is the highest mark obtained by the students for all the subjects in the second term? So now we have to search all the subjects. So therefore, we don't need to filter it. So I'll just remove this. Okay. Select. What is the highest mark obtained? So now I'll execute it. Yes, for all the subjects, it's 98.5. So the answer for all the subjects, that means this is the highest mark between all the subjects, 98.5. So this is the answer for our third question. What is the highest mark obtained by the students for all the subjects in second term? Okay, so we can give it like this. So if you are a bit confused, so we can select marks from all the students. So they will be loaded like this. And y'all can see over here all the marks. So now over here, this is the maximum mark. So therefore, the answer comes as 98.5. So the answer for our third question is this, 98.5. Let's move on to our fourth question. Which subject got the highest marks in second term? Okay, for this question, we'll be using subqueries as well. Okay, so I will use a new query for that. So I'll begin by giving select all from subject. Select all from exam marks DB dot subject. Okay, so let's see what are the subjects we have. So we have 3 subjects. So now I will give select subject dot subject name from exam marks DB dot subject. And next I will go to our next row and give a where condition to filter, where subject dot subject ID. And now let's begin to type our subquery. So I'm going to type this subquery like this, so y'all can identify a subquery because it's nested inside a normal query. So a subquery starts inside a bracket, and before the bracket, the word in or a equal mark will be there. So inside this subquery, I'm going to type select student exam mark records dot subject underscore subject ID from student exam mark record table. To our next row, I'm going to give another where condition where student exam mark records dot marks in. So now I'm going to give another subquery to search these marks. Okay, so inside this, I'm going to give select the minimum mark. Select min. So inside this min, I'm going to give student exam mark record dot mark. Record dot marks. Okay. So to our next row, I'm going to give from student exam mark record. So next, I'm going to inner join the tables we want. Inner join exam term. So first I'm going to inner join exam term on student exam mark record dot exam term ID, and this exam term ID is equal to the ID in our exam term table. And next I'm going to inner join the subject table. Inner join subject on student exam mark record dot subject underscore subject ID, which is equal to the ID in our subject table. Okay, so now let's begin to filter this. So over here they're asking what's the subject which got the highest mark in second term. Yeah, so over here I did a mistake. So over here we should give select max. So if they're asking the minimum mark, then we should give min. So I'm going to give the maximum mark, and where exam term dot term name is equal to second term. Okay, so this query is a bit big, but don't worry because this is the easiest way. Okay, so now I will execute it. Okay, so the subject which got the highest marks in second term is Sinhala language and literature. So this is the subject which got the highest mark in the second term. So these are the queries I gave for it. So over here y'all can see that I have given select the subject name from our subject table where the subject ID is equal, and for that I have given a subquery and select the subject ID from our student exam mark record table where the marks, and again we have given subquery, and I have to select the maximum mark from the student exam mark record table, and next I have inner joined our exam term and subject table, and next I have filtered it. So this is the sequence we are going to type this. So I hope you understood that part. So this is the answer for that question. Let's move on to our fifth question. Find the details of the student who got the highest mark in second term. So now we should find the details of the student who got the highest mark in the second term. Okay, so I will open a new query for this. Okay, so now they're telling to search all the details. So I'm just going to give select all from exam marks db dot student. Okay, so now I'll execute it. So these are the students. So next I'm going to give from students, and in our next row I'm going to give a where condition where student dot index number, and then I'm going to type a subquery for this. Okay, so inside this subquery I'm going to give in select student exam mark record, student exam mark record dot student index number from student exam mark record table. Next, I'm going to give a where condition where student exam mark record dot marks are equal, and next I'm going to give a subquery. So inside this subquery I'm going to give select. So over here the question they are telling is find the details of the student who got the highest mark. So we are going to use the word max over here. So select max student exam mark records dot marks. Okay, next I'm going to give from student exam mark record table. Okay. And next, again, I'm going to give a where condition where student exam mark record dot exam term ID is term ID. Then again, I'm going to give a subquery in select exam term dot term ID from exam term, and then I'm going to filter it like where exam term dot term name is equals to, so over here they are telling second term, so I'm going to give the term name as second term. Okay, so looks like our query is done. So select all from student where the student index number, and then I have given the subquery. So let's execute this. Okay, so Sachintra Vikramasinghe. So she's a girl. So she has scored the highest in second term. So this is the query for that. So they have to find all the details over here. So that they find the details of the student who got the highest mark in second term. So therefore, this is the answer for it. So this is the answer for that question. So Sachintra Vikramasinghe. Let's move on to our next question. So the last question of this video. Find the details of the student who got the highest marks in mathematics in first term examination and the class in which he was studying. Okay, so now we have to inner join the exam table, the subject table, and newly we have to inner join the class table. So let me show you how I'm going to create this one. So I'm going to use a new query for it. Okay, so now over here they have told us find the details of the student who got the highest marks in mathematics in the first term examination and the class. Now we have to join the class as well. Okay, so now in this we are going to use both inner join and subqueries both. So I'll begin by typing a select query first. Okay, so I'll increase the size. Select all from student exam mark record table. Okay, so I'll execute it and keep it. Okay, so now we have to select all the details and the class name of the student. So therefore, I'm going to type and keep all the details we need. So we'll need the student dot index number, and we'll also need the student dot first name, and also the student's last name, and also the student's gender, contact number, and the class name, class name, and also the subject name, the subject dot subject name. So these are the details we will need when we are searching this. Okay, so I'll keep them like this. Okay, back to our next query. Okay, so we also need the mark, so I'll just type the mark and keep as well. The student exam mark record dot marks. Okay, so next from student exam mark record table, and now I will invert. So first I will inner join the student table. So I'll inner join student on student exam mark record table dot index number. So this student index number is equal to the index number in the student table. So likewise, I'll inner join the exam term table. Exam term table. So this is done in the student exam mark record table as well. Oh, and it's also in the exam term ID. Okay, so this is equals to the term ID in the exam term table. And next I'm going to inner join the subject table. So this subject table is on the student exam mark record table dot subject ID. So this subject ID is equal to the ID in the subject table. So next I will inner join the class table. So this class table is there in the student table. Student dot class ID. So this class ID is equal to the ID in the class table. Okay, so now we are done inner joining all the tables we want. So next I will give a where condition where the student exam mark record table dot mark. So we need the mark now. So now where the mark, now we are going to type a subquery for this. So inside this subquery I'm going to type select the maximum mark. Select max. Student exam mark record dot mark. Mark record dot mark. And next we have to give it from where we took it. So from student exam mark record table. Next I'm going to give a where condition where student exam mark record dot subject ID is equal, or else we can give in, and then again another subquery. So inside this subquery I'm going to give select the subject dot subject ID from the subject table where the subject dot subject name is equal to mathematics. Okay, so the subject name is equals to mathematics, and the exam term ID, student exam mark record dot exam term ID should be, again we should give a subquery in, should be equal to select exam term ID exam term dot term ID from exam term where, now we are going to filter it, where the exam term dot term name is equals to, so the question here is first term. So equals to the term first term. So I'll give it like this, first term. Okay, so looks like our query is done. So it's a bit large query. So this is how it will look like. So over here I have selected all the details we want over here. And next I have given the table. Oh yes, I forgot something over here. Exam marks DB dot student exam mark record. Okay, so now let's execute this query. Okay, so this is the answer for it. STU004 Amanda Moses, and the gender is female. This is her contact number, and her class name is 11A, and her subject name is mathematics, and her marks are 90. So this is how we wrote the query to get this answer. So over here I have given select student index number, the first name, last name, gender, contact number, class name, the subject name, and the mark. So we have selected these from the student exam mark record table. So over here I have given that. And next I have inner joined the student table the exam term table, the subject table, and the class table over here. And next, I have given a where condition to select the mark. So for these marks, I have given a subquery to search the maximum mark from the student exam mark record table. And next, I have told to search the subject. So we have to search the subject which got the maximum mark. So therefore, I have given another subquery over here. So we get in. And I have told to filter it where the subject name is mathematics. And next, I have given an AND condition to search the exam term where the exam term is equal to first term. So this is how we type that query. So I hope you understood that part. So that's all for question set 21. So I hope you understood what I explained. So we typed a lot of queries, so I hope it was worth it. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. So I'll be back with a new video. So until then, have a nice day and bye.